Greetings YouTube, Skill Incarnate back today with the 8th episode of my Project Zomboid hardcore survival series set in the town of Drayton. In the last episode I was covering some tutorials which went down very well, and I have been looking at specifically cooking and also farming. And as a result we now have the beginning of a small farm in our base. I have some vegetables which are growing, and I've also gotten rid of a lot of my old food into this compost bin, and we're already beginning to see the food break down. And it seems that the compost bin at the moment is a little bit broken. I'm not actually getting any compost, but what it is doing is getting me a lot of seeds. So I'm going to be putting seeds in here, and I'm also getting a lot of worms, and the worms are going to be very useful for an upcoming tutorial I'm going to be doing on fishing. So this is all good. I'm going to keep filling this up with as much food as I can. I've got plenty of rotten food. There's no shortage of rotten food around, and we're going to fill up the compost bin first, and then I'm going to head on my way to go and hopefully get myself a little bit of wood and expand the base. So hopefully in this episode we're going to begin to build a expansion to my base, hopefully to the north. I want to try and build this out along here and continue the direction that I've been taking in building these ramps around the edge of my base. And I want to try and have this back area, a nice long ramp built all along this alleyway here. And this is going to be where I'm going to be doing all of my either pottery or I'm going to dig a mine. But at the moment, I just need more space. My base is starting to feel a little bit cramped. And yeah, I need to, oh, hey, here you go. So apologies guys, I was actually wrong in my assumption that the compost would actually show up in this container here. You actually have to right click, and you can see that the compost is we can actually pull that out now. I'm not going to do that yet, but at least now we know that the compost bin is actually working. I actually said in my tutorial on compost that I think the bin might be broken, but it appears I may have been wrong about that. So what we'll do today is I'm going to put the, I just want to do a very quick test. I'm going to put all of this stuff back, and I'm going to fill up that compost bin so that we can hopefully get a little bit more compost for our farm. As you can see, I've got quite a lot of rotten food in here. And it's, yeah, it's starting to get a little bit worrying because all of the food I've got is going rotten. The only good thing is that I've managed to farm a little bit of carrots and a little bit of some radishes as well. But the amount of food that I am currently farming is actually less than the food that I'm actually needing to eat. So we might need to. I've got a couple of ideas on how to actually get around that. But we may actually need to go and do a little bit of hunting to the south, and may need to do some foraging and some fishing. And I was going to actually put that off until a later episode, but it looks like I'm eventually going to run out of food. I'm not too worried at the moment, as you can tell, I've actually got a lot of food sources nearby. There is the Gigamart, and in the second episode I got all of this fresh food straight from the Gigamart, and unfortunately because of the power going out, it's all gone rotten. So what I'm doing is I'm just you can see why I built the compost bin right here. I can just take the food straight out of the fridge and dump it in here. So that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to go for a little bit of a walk, because I'm going to need some water, and I'm probably also going to need to get some wood to expand my little operation here. But I'm really glad that we managed to work out how to get the compost bin working. So let's chuck all of this food into the compost bin. Because something tells me that the more compost I've got, the better I'm going to get these crops to grow. And we can have multiple compost bins. I may actually do that. But I'm really glad that I've actually got a use for all of this rotten food. Now, as you can see, the crops are growing pretty slowly at the moment. Let's get on our way. So what I've got at the moment is I've got a little bit of a collection of items here. I picked up an axe in the last episode. I've got plenty of those now. I've also managed to get my hands on a digital watch, so I can now tell what time of day it was. That's a new development in Project Zomboid. You used to have the time up automatically, but now you actually need to find a watch before you can actually tell what time of day it is. So, not necessarily a bad thing. It's just adding another element of realism into the game. But we're going to do a little bit of clearing the forest here. And then I'm going to take some of this wood back, and we're going to begin on our construction. So, while we chop away, I have to make a couple of mentions. A few people have started watching some of my other series, and my games reviews have begun to take off a bit. They're getting a bit more steam, and I have managed to get a couple of offers from game companies for some free games. Whoa! Oh, he got me. I'm scratched. Well, that's not good. I think I'd better back that up a bit. I really hope I'm not infected from that. That would be pretty bad. Let's bandage up. That goes to show they were sitting right in the tree line. I didn't even see them. So we'll take these guys out. It goes to show that yeah, even when you're paying attention, I wasn't really goofing off then. It's just that they were literally sitting right on the edge of the trees, and I was mid-swing when they came out. So I'm really hoping that I'm not infected, because if I am, it could be the end of an era. I've made it very far into the series, and I really don't want it to end here, and I'm sure that a lot of you guys don't want it to end here either. So we'll take some of these logs back, and hopefully I will find out that it is just a scratch and nothing more, but who knows. So as before, I'm carrying quite a large bag. I should be able to carry around 6 logs. I always hate when you get scratched in this game, because it's always a waiting game. You never know whether you're infected or not, and it becomes very psychological. You could be spending a whole day or two working on something, and then find out you're infected, and it's all for nothing. So I'm trying not to worry too much about it. If I am infected, then, well, there's not much I can do. I'll have to start off with another character. I'll have a pretty well-stocked base, but yeah, I don't want to start again. My character took a lot of time to get up to level 4 of carpentry, and yeah, as with most things, you just gotta hope that everything's all right. But we're just going to add to my little log pile here. So we're going to make another pile. So this is another recent addition to Hydrocraft. You can actually assemble logs of woods into piles, and each pile can hold 15 blocks of wood. 15 logs of wood. And this means it's a very efficient way to store wood in the winter, and it's also a really good way to to get a building project up and running as well, because you can just dump everything you need. So we're going to head back, and I'm going to go and grab a little bit more wood. I'm going to need probably around 30 or 40 logs in total. But what I want to do is hopefully build a a sawbuck, and a sawbuck will allow me to break down the logs in a more efficient way. So by using a sawbuck, it's basically, for those who don't have a background in carpentry, I did do a bit of carpentry in my younger days. It's just basically a brace for you to place the log into, and then you can saw the log up more efficiently, and then you get more wooden planks. They're not mainly used in modern times, because obviously most wood is machined nowadays, but we don't have the luxury of having a machine saw and having a lathe and a lot of the other conveniences of carpentry. So the other thing is that the sawbuck's very expensive in terms of wood. We need around 6 or 7 logs and around 10 or so planks and a hell of a lot of nails to build one. But once we build one, it will make our lives a lot easier. It means that I'll have to carry back less wood, and it means that I'll get more planks every time I saw up a log. So it's definitely worth the time and also the resources to build. But we'll just add more to that log pile. When I've got enough time, when I've got enough wood, I'll go and complete that sawbuck. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll dump these here. I believe you need 6 logs, so we'll go and there's some planks. So let's see how much a sawbuck is. Okay, so we need 6 logs and 10 planks and 10 nails and a hammer. So we just need the planks. Got 9 planks there. So we'll just go for 10. I don't want to waste any more logs by cutting up more planks. Or sorry, I don't want to waste any more logs by inefficiently cutting them into planks. So if I've got a plank lying around here, I'll just use one. It looks like I might be out of luck. Oh no, I saw some. There we go. Unfortunately, in some earlier episodes when I didn't have any storage, I've been just throwing things on the ground here. And that hasn't been a good idea, because as you can see, the inside of my base is a bit of a dog's breakfast. So that's going to be the other objective today. I'm going to need to replace that bandage. It's not looking good. I'll put a sterilized rag on there. Now, one of the parts about when you get bitten, if you're in constant pain and your wound doesn't get any better, then it often means that it's pretty much curtains for you. So I'm really, really hoping that's not the case for me. It could be pretty bad. So I need about 10 planks. And I'll need to carry the planks in my inventory because I won't have enough space. There we go. So let's make our sawbuck. And here we go. So that's a sawbuck, and as I said, basically the log goes here, and you will saw the log up, and it will allow you to make a more efficient use of your logs. And I'm going to illustrate that by just grabbing this log here, and we're going to cut this up. Now, as you recall in an earlier episode, when you cut up a log, you get 3 planks, but watch what happens when I use the sawbuck. Right click and make wood planks. I'm cutting up this log. And we've got 4 planks. Oh, they're on the ground. There you go. So we've now got a 25% increase in efficiency in cutting up wood. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to eat a lot of food, and that will hopefully increase my healing to help my wound close a little faster. I've got plenty of carrots. I didn't actually intend on wasting my food this way, but I certainly don't want to die from this scratch, so let's just eat those. Okay, so I'm now not hungry, but I am still hurt, so I'm going to have a look, and yeah, I've got some more carrots. Let's eat those. Unfortunately, this is the only fresh food that I have, unless I want to start eating worms, but we won't do that. This is not good that my pain hasn't gone away too. So we'll probably find that we have to eat all of these carrots as well to... Okay, I can't eat anymore. Well fed. Okay, so it seems that's dirty again. It's not looking good. So what I might do is I might actually get some rest, and hopefully that will assist me in healing some faster. It seems like I can't. Alright, well, we'll go and get some more wood and hopefully continue our little project, because in the event that this does make me bite the big one, at least I'll have a well-kitted base. I've got my fingers crossed that's not the case, and that's one of the things that I really enjoy about this game. It's that you really can never know. You can be going really well, like we went today, and one little mistake, and sometimes even just a hint of bad luck, and that is enough to end your game. And it's very, very easy to become complacent in this game, to think that everything's okay, you're safe, but you never really are, because it only takes one mistake and one zombie to get the jump on you, and that's pretty much what happened to me. And now I am packing myself, hoping that I am not infected and I'm not going to turn into one of them. But time will tell, ladies and gentlemen, time will tell. So we're just going to keep plugging away, and hopefully I will get tired. That's a good sound. Now, as I mentioned in previous episodes, I'm actually nearly out of water. So it seems these are actually full. Let's go and water our plants, and then I'll chuck these out for the rain. Looks like I've already watered these. Alright, that's cool. We'll fill up the fish tank. We can't. That's okay. We'll clean all our rags and bandages. Is there anything else that needs water? Looks like that's going well. Doing quite well, actually. I must have, I think I ran down the stream between episodes worrying that I'd actually run out of water, and it rained ironically straight after. Got to keep myself well fed. I'm actually going to go and check my crops and see if there's anything that I can harvest for for an easy win for a bit more food. Let's saw these logs up. Okay, and as you can see, I've got lots of planks. Got some more in my inventory. Yep, excellent. We dump these here, and this is where we're going to be. This is going to be our build site. But probably after I get a little bit of rest. So these broccoli aren't yet ready to harvest, but if I run out of food and I'm getting desperate, I'll come and grab those, but probably not yet. I've got a couple of carrots left. Let's have a bit of a rest. Check our bandage. This is not a good sign. This wound doesn't look like it's healing. I'm a bit worried. I really am. So let's, we're going to clean the bandage. And we'll chuck this bucket down outside. Lots of, these are boiled water as well. So I've been pretty busy. That's okay. Now I am tired, so we are going to try and have a bit of a rest now that I have a bandage fully replaced. Now, I will wake up in the middle of the night, but the burning question is whether I'm infected, and I have to know. If this is starting to heal, we may have dodged a bullet here. We may have dodged a massive bullet, ladies and gentlemen. So it appears that the bleeding has stopped, and that I am actually not infected. But what I am going to do is I'm going to make some sterilized bandages. These are sterilized bandages. So what I did was I boiled some rags. I got some old rags from a zombie, and I boiled the rags in a cooking pot and turned them into sterilized rags. And I think this may have been what saved my life. This sterilized rag acts the same way as dousing a rag with whiskey. All it is basically you put a couple of rags inside a cooking pot and you boil them. So we may actually go and do that. But let's fill up my canteen first, and we'll go on our way. So I'm very, very happy about that. I honestly thought that we had finished our little run, and I was definitely going to die. So very lucky indeed. Now I'm trying to remember the train of thought I had before that zombie jumped me, and I was about to say about the reviews. So I've been doing a lot of game reviews lately, and it's mainly because some developers reached out to me and gave me a couple of games. It was a long time ago, and my first reviews were admittedly very poor. Now I'm going to have to be very careful here. I don't want to be repeating my mistakes. That's why I clear cut this forest, by the way. But yeah, I got some free games, and it appears that first world problem. See, the amount of games I'm getting now is actually more than I can review. And the last game I got was for a game company that does mainly work with disabled kids, and I wanted to help them out because they were trying to make some games for families and games for young children with disabilities. And that game was Space and Traders. So I haven't had a lot of companies reach out to me directly before. Asking for me to have a look at their games. Often I will just get an email going, here's a game key. But those guys were pretty cool, and they reached out to me directly. So yeah, the channel, while it's not starting to grow in terms of more people watching, I am getting a lot of really nice interest from developers. And I'm getting a lot of these games that are coming through and they're getting better and better. I actually got my hands on some really nice indie games. I got a hold of the new Carmageddon game. I got a game called War for the Overworld, War for the Underworld. I got my hands on a very interesting game, one I'm working on a review for now. It's quite controversial, but I'm sure that you'll enjoy it. But I guess I just wanted to say thanks to you guys. A lot of the longer term people who've been watching my channel have started looking at some of the other content, providing some feedback. Been getting a lot of people trying some of the other stuff apart from Project Zomboid. I love Project Zomboid, but I did have a period of time where I started to, I guess, feel a bit of burnout. I was just playing it non-stop all the time, and I just wanted to try something else, and that's how the game reviews began. So, yeah, just wanted to say, yeah, thanks for taking a look at those. Gotten a lot of free games, a lot of games to try out for review, and I've had some developers reach out to me directly, so yeah, that's been fantastic. I'm not going to stop playing Project Zomboid, don't worry. But as a lot of my diehard fans have said, they're not happy. Well, some of them aren't happy with the fact that I play other games apart from Project Zomboid. But look at it from my perspective. If you're playing the same game every single day, or at least 3 or 4 times a week, you're going to get sick of it. And I need to do something else to keep a little bit of just to keep a little bit of variety in what I play. If I play the same game day in day out, it does get a little bit boring after a while. So I try and mix it up. Try and play other games, and just to keep myself interested as well, because you go nuts trying to playing the same thing all the time. You know, no one's putting a gun to my head forcing me to play this, but it's it's nice to have a bit of variety in what I play. So I know this episode has been a little bit of rambling, but a lot of it's just been me nervously trying to pass time to see whether my character was going to bite the dust or not. So um, back on subject. We've got quite a lot of wood here, and I'm going to cut this. This should be enough to. Oh, bit of lag there. This should hopefully be enough for me to begin my expansion of the base. So let's get that going. This sawbuck is quite essential in breaking down this wood in the most efficient way. So let's do that. Beautiful. So the next thing I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to make myself some wooden dowels. Now I'm using the wooden Dowels mod, and what that does is essentially allows me to replace nails. And nails in this game are very, very hard to come by. And even in the hardware store, I've only managed to find about 4 or 5 boxes of nails. Now that's 400 or 500 nails, but you imagine how quickly I'm going to burn through nails trying to build a platform. Now I burnt through 2 boxes of nails just building what we've got here. So that's a third of my available supply of nails. If I want to make this any bigger, I'm going to have to find an alternate way to build. And even though a lot of people think that this is cheating, you have to keep in mind that I wouldn't be able to do my tutorials on building without doing this. It would be impossible. I wouldn't have enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to make some wooden dowels, and I'll show you how to do that. What you're going to need to have is a screwdriver. Now this is a screwdriver I picked up in the first episode. It's a little bit banged up, but I've been shoving this up the nostrils of a few zombies, so I did actually use it as a combat weapon, but I hung on to it because I knew that I'd need it in a later episode. So to make wooden dowels, you need a screwdriver and you need a saw, which I'll grab out of my backpack. And each plank you cut up will make yourself 3 wooden dowels. So let's make some wooden dowels, as you can see. So you also need a knife. So I've got a machete. So we have a screwdriver, a knife of some sort. It could be a kitchen knife, a hunting knife, or a machete, and a saw. Let's make ourselves some dowels. There we go. Let's just check our bandage. Okay, it's gotten a bit dirty again. Awesome. So as you can see, this is a really good way to upgrade our first aid skill as well. I read all of the books between episodes carpentry, cooking, farming, and first aid. I didn't plan on trying to get myself scratched by a zombie just to get my first aid skill to go up, but that was just a pleasant side effect of an unpleasant situation. So what we'll do is we're going to start building, and when you want to build with dowels, it works just the same as you building with nails. All you do is just right click the ground and you'll have the option with underneath carpentry to build with dowels. Now I should have done a tutorial on building with dowels, but basically, and that's probably a good idea actually, but building a wooden floor is the easiest thing that you can build. So the wooden floor only usually requires a carpentry of 1. But to build something with wooden dowels, it requires a carpentry of 4. So I've only just managed to get my carpentry skill high enough to do this. So what we're doing now is we're just going to expand a bit. There we go. So now we've got like a little bridge that we're going to build out. And the thing about dowels is that building with dowels is twice as expensive in terms of wood as what it is with nails. So even though a lot of people think that the Dowels mod is cheating, you have to keep in mind that you need a lot of wood to do this. So it's not like that it's basically gives you a replacement for nails. It's a very expensive replacement for nails. You're going to need to go out and get an absolute ton of wood to do this. And as you can see, I'm probably going to burn through probably about 20 or 30 logs just building this little row of wood here. This will be yep, that's it. So what I'll need to do is I'll need to go and get some more wood. But luckily I've got plenty of planks here, and we're just going to try. I'm going to try and build to the end of the alley, and hopefully this will be our back area where we can start our pottery or start our mine or start whatever it is I happen to decide to build. There we go. Okay, so it appears that I'm out of dowels. So again, we're just going to make some more dowels. Now, while this is very, very time consuming, it's a really good way for you to build up your carpentry. So keep that in mind, and I may actually do a specific tutorial on this. I really do need to do a tutorial on the wooden dowels mod and how to actually use it, because it is actually a tricky thing, and it actually took me a little bit of reading to work out how to do it. Leave me a comment if that's actually something you'd like to see. I'm actually throwing that idea up. The next tutorial I was going to do was revisiting pottery, but I really think the wooden dowels mod requires its own tutorial, even though it is a mod, because it is quite difficult to master. And as you can see, my carpentry skill is really loving this expansion. To get to level 6 of carpentry is going to require a lot of grinding. But once I get to carpentry level 6, we're going to be able to build the almighty mine. And for those of you who don't know, the mine is one of the greatest additions to the Hydrocraft mod. I can dig up raw materials, coal, metal, lead for ammo, saltpeter. I can make eventually, once my mine is upgraded enough, I can actually make bullets. And this is probably one of the things that a lot of people don't like about the Hydrocraft mod, is that some of the things that in the Hydrocraft mod that you can build feel overpowered. And I have to agree to an extent with that. When I did my first series set in the town of, it was Phoenix, I believe, when I actually got a mine going and I got a lot of the end game buildings available in the Hydrocraft mod, I was able to. I had bullets cranking out. I had pretty much a fully stocked pharmacy. I could make explosives. I could make medicine. I had a hunting dog. I was able to just get food. I had livestock, cows, sheep, all sorts of crazy stuff, pigs. I literally had a base which had everything. And if you actually want to see what you can get in end game of the Hydrocraft mod, go back and have a look at one of my first videos, which is a base tour of a base I had in Phoenix. And it was one of my earliest efforts, so it's crap, I know. But it actually showed all the stuff I built. I had mine. I had a smelter, a pottery. I had guns out the wazoo. I had this massive monolithic base with everything in it, and it was awesome. But it really was overpowered. And I had the zombie set on high, but I just had an AK-47 with thousands of rounds of ammo. I was just mowing them down. I mean, it was great fun, but it certainly took away a lot of the challenge of the mod. So we're coming along quite nicely here. This is going to be my little spot for where I'm going to have my pottery station. I'm probably going to need to go and get some more. Let's just check my health. Yep, looking good. So I know this episode has been just me rambling for most of it, and I apologise for that. But you know, this was meant to be a nice chill episode where I was just doing a little bit of work around the house. I didn't plan on getting the zombie taking a chunk out of me, but seeing as I had managed to dodge the bullet of being infected, I just felt a little more loquacious than normal. And yeah, this has just been a really nice, easy, chill episode. We've got a base expansion that's going quite nicely here. I'm just got to be careful I don't do a swan dive. I'm out of dowels again. So what we'll do is we might actually go and we'll turn these into dowels. How many planks have I got left? Not many. That's okay. So probably the only good thing about this is, as you can see, I'm absolutely caning carpentry. I've gotten about 200 XP just in this episode. Granted, I need 1500, but by the time I'm done with this base expansion, I'll definitely have enough to upgrade to level 5 of carpentry. And then when I get to level 6, I'll be able to do some really cool stuff. Apart from building a mine, I'll be able to build staircases. And then when I can build a staircase, I'll be able to build up. And then when I can build up, then we can build some cool stuff on the roof. So I'm keen to give that a go. But yeah, it's a very time-consuming experience doing this, but it's really cool to see some of the stuff that you can build in game. So we've got some dowels. I'll go and grab a little bit more wood. I know I've got lots of piles of wood lying on the ground, but I want to make sure I don't burn through all of my wood. I've also got some piles of wood out the front there, but I've actually got some more plans for that. So we've also got some of this sawdust, and you get sawdust every time you cut up wood in the sawbuck, and you can use the sawdust in things like dynamite and explosives. And yes, you can build some really, really awesome stuff once you get to the end game content in this. You can just do some crazy stuff in Hydrocraft. I had some awesome fun, and I wanted to show you guys some of the crazy stuff you can do. But we have a lot of preparation. I played the game almost every single day for over a year before I got to the point where I had everything. So that's one of the things to note about Hydrocraft. A lot of the people that complain that the game is cheap, you do have to work for this stuff. You won't get a mine, you won't get oxen carts, you won't get chemistry sets, you won't get electronics right off the bat. You won't have all of this. You do have to work for it. And some of it requires some very, very specific items and a lot of grinding. Certain items in the Hydrocraft mod you will not be able to get without the requisite skill. And the main one is carpentry. So to get to carpentry level 6, I'm going to have to do a lot of work. And a lot of the work I've been doing has been off camera. But I wanted to do I wanted to show you what the base expansion looks like, because I haven't done any base expansions on screen in this series. I've been trying to keep all the interesting stuff, the zombie killing and all of that, and the exploration aspect as the main focus of the series, but I wanted to show you how to build as well and show you what the base is going to look like long term. I'm hoping to turn this into a mega base. I'm eventually going to incorporate this building and the other building next to it into my design and have a really massive base. So we're going to just finish up the episode by cutting this up and just finishing my little ramp here. I probably won't have enough to make it right to the end of the building, but we'll see how far we can get. So Sawbuck, do your thing. So as you can see, the Sawbuck has been instrumental in efficiently cutting up these logs. Let's speed up time a bit. Beautiful. Go down and grab my... Let's just check my health again. It's dirty. Now, if I was infected and I was going to die... Oh, here we go. That's not good. Okay. So that's not good. It's not... I don't think I'm infected by the zombie virus, but I am down to my last sterilized rag. So we are actually going to halt our work on the base because I have a more pressing matter. And that means I need to make some sterilized rags. So I'm going to show you. This is more of a medical topic than anything. Let's get some sheets. Now, to make sterilized rags, what you need to do is you just need to right click and you can make a... how did I do it? Oh, oops. Just trying to remember how I did it. I think I actually need an empty cooking pot. I really don't want to tip this out because it'll be a bit of a waste. Let's just pour it into an empty bottle. That'll do. Here we go. So what we need to do is you need to actually have an empty cooking pot and you need to have some water. So right click on the cooking pot and you can prepare a pot with rip sheets. This is actually really cool. I actually found this from the a online forum which was talking about medicine in Project Zomboid. And this is really cool. This is a really awesome trick. I actually planned on adding this in my next tutorial on medicine. Now watch this. You just have to light this bad boy up. That'll do me. Now hopefully I'm not too tired to start this fire, but let's see how we go. If I am too tired, I have got a cigarette lighter, so I can light the fire the old-fashioned way, but I don't want to waste... oh, there we go. Got lucky first time. Now, what this basically does is it boils the sheets, and it turns them into sterilized sheets. So this is actually a alternative to using whiskey to as a disinfecting agent. And this is really cool because if you don't have any whiskey and you don't have any disinfectant, you can actually make your own homemade disinfected bandages. So I don't think I need to tell you how handy this is, especially since I don't have I actually don't have a lot of disinfectant. I've got a little bit. So these are going to cook, and what will happen is I'll be able to remove them, and I'll have a set of disinfectant, or a set of disinfected bandages. I'm going to need that because my character is actually infected. Now I'm hoping the infection I've got, I'm pretty sure the infection I've got is a regular infection, as in a medical one and not a zombie infection. Chuck a stick in there just to keep things going. So that's about halfway cooked, so let's just chuck some more sticks in there. Yeah, I should be lucky enough to ride this infection out. I really hope that's the case. Because if I was, generally when I've died from the zombie infection, the symptoms have started by now. I'll become sick, I'll become weak, and then I'll eventually begin to start losing health. It's been nearly 2 days. Keeping in mind this episode's probably gone way too long. But I'll show this, and then what I'll do is I'll get some sleep, and we'll have a cliffhanger ending and see whether I succumb to the sickness or whether I'm actually infected by the zombie virus. I don't know. I think I might be able to ride this one out. I think I may be lucky. Now, when you do get scratched, there is around a 25% chance that you will be infected. So a 1 in 4 chance. So your chances of getting infected from a scratch are not too bad, 1 in 4. If it had been a bite, then your chances of infection are around, I think it's about 90 to 95%. It's almost a certainty. So I'm lucky it was a scratch and not a bite. Very lucky. So that's nearly done. Here we go. So now what I can do is right click on that pot and remove the sterilized rags. And I've got myself 5 sterilized rags. So what I'll do is, since I've already got the fire going, I'll add some more. Chuck those in. Because you can never be too prepared, throw some more sticks in the fire. And we'll leave it at that. I realise this episode went a little bit longer than what I thought. And I wasn't able to do everything that I wanted to do. But on the upside, let's go up and have a quick look before I sign off at what I've done. I managed to build a sawbuck. I managed to make quite a lot of wooden dowels. I've collected quite a bit of wood, and I've also built this little ramp here. We've got a little ways to go to the end, and we'll probably complete that in the next episode. Most importantly, I managed to survive a zombie scratch. I got very close to dying, and for a while there I was convinced I was going to die. But luckily enough for me, it looks like I may be lucky enough to dodge the bullet. And hopefully with a little bit of rest and a little bit more food to keep me well fed, I might be able to ride this one out and live to fight another day. So here's hoping. I'm going to eat the last of my fresh food, which is a little bit worrying. I've actually burned through all of my fresh food now. I'm living entirely on. I'm going to be living entirely on dry food and preserved food. I've got a little bit of Tupperware here, but yeah. Basically, in the next episode, we're probably going to go and start having a look at the Gigamart. I may need to go back down there and get some more food. I don't have a whole lot of food left because I've been mainly stealing all of the fresh stuff. So we might go on a run to the Gigamart. I may actually pull some guns out and we'll go on a little bit of a look through town to see what we can find. So sorry this episode took as long as it was. I realise this was a complete mess of an episode. Just me rambling, but hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did enjoy it, leave me a comment, leave me a like. Subscribe, anything along those lines is always great. Your comments are also always welcome, and hopefully we'll see you for the next episode. Until next time, and hopefully when I wake up uninfected, Skill Incarnate out.